Hello, good evening, and welcome to Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Season 2, Round 8, with a mod at Rockingham ISSC. You're watching us in broadcasts. I'm Peter Butcher, and joining me tonight, it's Eoin Harmon. Eoin, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm all good here, Pete. Thanks very much for asking.
Good stuff. Let's get straight into it then, shall we? We are on Round 8 of Season 2, which is 10 rounds long. 3 to go, Eoin. This season has come around to the end quickly.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's hard to think it's been another year, pretty much, and it's absolutely flown by, but we've been treated very, very superbly by our drivers this season, and I hope they've got a little bit more energy for the next 30 days or so, because it's going to be a superb season.
It's going to be a good end, I think, for sure. Tonight we've got a mod. Next time out at Fern Bay Gold, we've got another mod. So let's talk about what it is tonight that we're dealing with. It is one of the many Porsche mods that have been added to the game. This one is the Pochete 781 Baxster S by M7MD 1467 in collaboration with Martin 18, and it's all the things you would expect from a Porsche, basically. A 2.5 litre flat 4 rear-wheel drive configuration, weighing in at almost 1.5 tonnes with 350 brake horsepower, so a handful, but with a fair bit of bulk going.
Yeah, it definitely does have that weight about it. It's more of a luxurious sports car rather than one that's totally about the circuit racing. So we'll see drivers push their limits with tyre conservation. The fact that they're road supers doesn't really help their cause. Braking, for example, will be very tough to get the correct traction you need for certainly Gretton, for example.
Well, it looks good on paper. Let's see if it's any good on track. And the stadium in which it will be tested is Rockingham ISSC, the International Super Sports Car Circuit here at Rockingham, in the speed 3.1 kilometres, 1.9 miles, and we're going to see it for 22 laps. We've just had a 60-minute qualifying session that has concluded a few minutes ago, and we'll take you through the results of that right now. Let's see how the drivers ended up being stacked. Now you can see in the background some drivers doing some practice, and it's Gabba who took pole. Reluctantly, it seems. He doesn't want to start on pole. We'll see where he actually starts in a minute, but he took pole position ahead of Sufor, Trespasser, Cried, Falcon, Asker, Thamuli, T-Bug, Michael and Rony, your top 10 on paper, with Twincam, Majesta, Magic, Lorenzo, Stephen Martin, Motomacari, Lote, Yarikata, Serzalogs and Ayub, your top 20. And a stacked grid tonight, 9 more on the second page, with Rayman, Mika Sarkinen, Andrulis, Redbot, Hermani, Cubs, Tilly S, TJ and Unite, although the last two have not set representative lap times, but everybody else is mostly within the 107%, with one exception, Tilly S, who will start at Rony's discretion. We'll see if they take the grid, but a decent turnout, a tricky combo tonight, Eoin.
Yeah, there's definitely been the fresh memories of the season one first race of 2024, which was indeed chaos, as I spoke into existence that time. So people are remembering that time. I'm hoping none of that chaos does actually occur tonight. It would be great to see these cars in proper action.
Yeah, I'm sure that is the wish on many people's minds. But let's see what the championship standings currently look like as we head into round 8. It's Gabba leading the way with 118 points over Thamuli, but it is tight at the top, that, Owen. That is not clear cut. There is definitely wiggle room at the top of this championship, which is so rarely said these days. So it's nice to have that battle alive. It's contested by quite a few drivers. Michael Malik in the fray there in P3, and Unite, Rony, and potentially Majester and Twincam also in with a shout if there is some shake-up at the front towards the end of the season. Montemaccari, Sufort and Lorenzo round out your top 10, and we'll let these results slide on by while we talk about what's coming up tonight. And the last race we had at ISSC ended with a Turn 1 incident that went down in history.
You had to watch the slow motion replay 30 times just to comprehend exactly what happened. It's just utter carnage. As you're saying with the championship there, it is a healthy proposition there with Gabor. He did take a time off there, so that allowed some of the other drivers a way back into the title hunt. But if he is motivated, then it's going to be super difficult to prevent another Gabor title. So we'll have to wait and see who else can actually rise to this occasion.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us for this round of RTFR, round 8 of the 2025 Season 2 Championship. Owen, take us away for the grid.
Oh yeah, it's a very, very healthy looking grid tonight. Definitely the enthusiasm to get going is going to be palpable. Everybody will have to take the oval turn 1 just to get the lap underway. So let's wait for those lights. And here they come, RTFR in the chalk, and away we go. Got to avoid wheel spin here. The 7-speed gearbox will be put to the test. Certainly at the beginning here, Sufort goes on the high side against Gabor. Continuing to push. Cried on the inside there of Falcon. Braking now. Slow. Keep it steady.
Cried's spectated.
Wing mirror's gone. Cried has spectated, and Steve Martin's been spun 180 degrees, so he's going to be at the back of the pack.
Yeah, not ideal. Very colourful looking grid, that's for sure. But a couple of dropouts early in the race. Cried has rejoined. Stephen Martin not happy with the fact that he's been spun, but we are off and racing, and it is a change for the lead at the front. Sufort has got the better of Gabba after a few turns.
My goodness gracious, that doesn't happen at all often here. Gabor didn't want the pole position, but he has actually given Sufort the chance to lead the way here as we head into Tarzan. Maybe a few cheeky punts down the inside here. Let's see if anyone goes for it. Lot is certainly thinking about it, for one example, in 11th place.
Yeah, very, very nice driving so far. There's a move at the back there. That's between Rayman and Cubs. Rayman through. Oh, Rayman getting a bit of a check up there. And everyone else heading through the final chicane already and out onto the oval for the second time.
And it will be Sufort to take the honours here on lap 1 into lap 2. We'll know for sure how quick these cars are. There's trouble here for Lot. Lot is heading towards the grass. Something has gone horribly wrong there. He's not turning the car. Yeah, he's going to hit the wall. Oh, that was a scary one. Something has gone
like a hardware issue.
Yeah, very much so.
Something going right as TJ here in the yellow, making a move up the inside of TJ. Montemaccari being spun there a little bit by Serziologs, who pulls up alongside him. Serziologs takes over the lead of this little group in that blue machine, with TJ going up the inside there on Montemaccari into Yentwood and up to P2 in this little group. This is from P10 downwards, I think.
Yeah, it is important to get into the top 10 if at all possible. Yeah, 12th position down. So, door-to-door contact there. That's going to send Montemaccari loose. And Ayub could get an opportunity on the high side there.
That's Unite in the purple machine at the back, just trying to get involved somehow here. Abe going for a move up the inside of Monte McElroy. Unite sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, but giving enough room as Sergelogs and TJ now fighting it out for, as you rightly said, P12 in this race.
Yeah, and Unite's going for it again. Oh, that's going to compromise his exit out of the chicane here. But Yari Katila and LG Meese, they weren't in an opportune posture to be able to make a move there. But now TJ from the back of the grid is overtaking Logs on the turn 1 banking. Oh, a bit too close to the banking there, and that's going to send him into an oversteer slide there. But he's got the track position now.
Yeah, as we head on to lap 3, it's Sufor leading by 0.7 of a second over Gabba. Then we've got Asker a little way behind with Falcon chasing him down. Then it's Michael Malek and Thamuli, who are pretty close coming into turn 1 on this lap. Michael in the cyan there, with Thamuli in the more beige Pochete here. But that is down to 6th place. Mad Jester in his customary orange, being chased by Rony in his customary green. That's your top 8 with Twin Cam and Lorenzo rounding out your top 10 currently as the pack heads through Gracelands for the 3rd time.
Yeah, at the moment the packs are spreading out a little bit. Michael Malik and Thamuli on camera right now are getting close. Mad Jester may have missed his apex. Yes, he certainly has. Rony has to get on the power straight away here. He's got the soft top down. Not the sunniest day to be lounging about with the wind in your hair, but it's a chance for Mad Jester to get his rhythm back, but he is sliding a bit more than I'd like to see.
Yeah, it looks like this car are becoming a little bit more of a handful as the race goes on. The drivers will have got the tyres up to temperature. Sufor's got the most out of this car so far. He sets the fastest lap of 1:28.98 there to set the pace on the rest of the field once again. But that gap at the front has not changed at all, really, since the previous lap. So Gabba is still keeping up with him. But Asker, with a 2-second deficit now, to our race leader, only 1.4 back to Gabba, needs to focus. He has managed to gap Falcon, though.
Yeah, it's very important. Falcon doing the solid here for Race Green at the moment. He's the best placed. With 6 representatives in all. With Magic and Lorenzo, they'll need to work together to try and catch up to their teammate Rony with Twin Cam in the way. And certainly looking back to the summer where Twin Cam was closest to winning his very first race in an RTFR situation was an XL, I believe, around here. And it was so close, but just wasn't to be. And he's going to keep believing that his chance will eventually fall into his lap without the need for a bit of chicanery from the lads who wanted to give him the win, but he didn't want it.
Here comes Steve Martin on Redbot into Tarzan, and there's contact. Redbot's shoved off, and Martin goes through. There was room. I'm not sure.
But he feels bad about it.
He's giving it back. Yeah, he's giving it back. Yeah, that is fair enough.
Yeah, good sportsmanship there from Steve Martin there. He was wronged on lap 1, but he doesn't want to behave inappropriately himself.
Yeah, I mean, racing incidents happen, but Steve clearly felt bad enough about that one that he gave the place straight back. Many drivers would not do that, so Steve, one of the drivers who politely realising that maybe that wasn't the cleanest way through, and you can have that place back. So life stewarding by Steve there, as Unite is still looking up the back of the P13 driver here, Sergelogs, who is holding station and doing a remarkable job in what I can only assume is his first outing in RTFR. I've not seen that name before.
Yeah, so we'll just clarify there. Rony said Sergelogs is a Latvian driver from way back in the day. And he's got his account restarted as his original email has been lost, so he used to be an RGA member. But here's a look down the inside for Unite using all the ABS and handbrake he can.
Where he goes for now.
Yeah, but he's got a ways to go to catch up to TJ. But of course, TJ will meet 3 eager drivers in a line here, so that's going to cost him a little bit of time. unless he finds a way
Oh,
past.
twin
Twin
cam.
cam on the accelerator too soon, and the back end is lost. Rear right tire starting to wear out, and he's out
gone.
of the race.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time we've seen one of the front runners lose it with a little bit of a miscalculation, shall we say, on the loud pedal. And that does kick him out of this one, as Sergelogs is now coming back at Unite into turn one. Not looking like it's going to be a move, however.
Oh, he's made contact. Unite hitting the back there, and Ayoub El Hanouni just gratefully takes that position away to help Born to Race regroup after Twin Cam's exit as a result of the spin. On board here with virtual reality helmet. Steve Martin right on the inside there into Yentwood, and Mika will have to watch his mirrors yet again into Chapman, and Steve Martin cleanly through. So this battle will be a fascinating watch here. But on the inside, chance for Hermione there, and LG Meese has to compromise his corner exit out of Piff.
Yeah, driving with VR, and this looks quite fun as we need to turn our attention further forward as TJ and Magic have a change of position. TJ did catch up to the back of Magic and has since gone through, but Magic's coming back at him into the chicane.
Yeah, he'll try his best, but yeah, TJ will use as much of the curve as possible, and he just stay nice and planted. So that is a position earned successfully by TJ, and that's top 10 for him after working his way up without a qualifying time to rely on. He is up from the back of the grid to P10.
He is indeed. Falcon still finds himself in P4, but has closed up to the back of Asker now. Asker is losing time, and look at this. They are going to go side by side into Yentwood. Falcon trying to make it work around the outside. That's a tricky move, but he's done it. A wheel on the grass means Asker isn't out of this yet. He's still got a wheel in there as he goes through Chapman. And here we head into Piff, and they're still side by side. Asker's got ahead again.
Yeah, Asker's back in front. Fairness to Falcon, he did lift to allow for a safe entry for both drivers. Ars got a wheel on the grass there. That would have given him a horrible feeling in the back of his mind there as Gracelands was coming very quickly. But incredible job there by Arska to react to the situation, get the car stabilized again. But that's good news for Tamouli and his outside bet to win this title without having a winner's champion or winner's crown to his name in any RT4 events. So if he could win the title without winning a race, that would be a phenomenal achievement. But he needs Gabor to be removed from proceedings, and I don't see that happening.
No, not today. I mean, it's looking pretty good for Gabba. We have seen other drivers drop off so far. Fingers crossed the rest of the field don't have any issues, but never say never. Falcon and Asker slightly draw away from one another. It is still Sufor leading, and if anything, he's opened up that gap a further 8 or 9 tenths of a second, in fact, since we last watched these two. So Sufor is on pace. He's doing a fantastic job in the lead at the moment.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, this is absolutely superb from Sufor. He'll be plugging away as best he can just to make sure he's not pushing those tires to extremes, because for sure Gabor, with this clear air, he's going to be very cautious with his tires where he needs to be. But now, multiple battles to worry about, and let's focus on TJ's ascent up the order, and he's taking on Lorenzo, who's of course so delighted with the Retro Cup and how it's playing out. But this is not a stable car for him at the moment. The front end is not behaving in any helpful way to him. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, it's a good one. We've got a battle further up front. We've got Asker still defending from Falcon, and Manchester's gone very wide at Tarzan. Yeah,
and that distraction has helped TJ out more so as he's through on the inside. Cleanly done. And that's now 9th position. And of course, Manchester's tires will still have a bit of dirt and gravel on them, so his grip is especially precarious.
Yeah, we lose Rayman from the race, down to 22 runners. So that's a shame for the race green team, but that was just a clean retirement. So not sure what happened. As we return to our leader, who is about to push the 2-second gap now to Gabba. A phenomenal effort at the front, as we've got also Yarik to that, closing up to the back of Ayoub. Need to keep an eye on Falcon and Asker, though. That position change for P3 is looking imminent.
Yeah, balancing the needs to watch different battles. But Ayub needs to power
Ooh,
slide around the corner here just to make it. And that's Yari Katila on the outside now for Yantwood. It's going to be really challenging to switch back here because of the sausage curb.
need to
It's
cut away.
it's
We've
an enormous
got
danger. And
Falcon
yeah,
up the
go ahead.
inside on Asker here. Asker drops a wheel again, and there's a
Oh,
change for position there. That is P3 for Falcon.
watch out for Tamuli. He's on the charge himself of 56.11, 2/10 quicker than Falcon. And Ayub in the Born to Race car has gone wide. Or, yeah, it certainly has. Amos Macari profits from that situation. Maybe he can double his money here, going for an attack on Yari.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? He's on the outside, not the ideal line. Yari defending hard from him, as the Muli, as you mentioned, does continue to close the gap to Asker. Asker seemingly dropping off a cliff at this point, but a number of drivers are struggling a little bit with the tyres at this stage. Here comes the Muli.
Yeah, this could be the demise of Arska's race here. Tamuli will have more grip and more faith in his car to behave itself, whereas Arska, look at him wobbling all over the shop. It can't slow down in time. He will, of course, still finish the corner, but Tamuli can just cruise on ahead, as Arska, it feels like he's on ice at the minute.
Yeah, next up the road is Michael Malik, as Abe has also retired from the race, unfortunately. He drove into the pit lane and decided enough was enough, has retired the car. So a number of drivers finding 30 minutes of racing to be too much. We're only 15 minutes in to this one, as we've got Surgilogs and Magic going wheel to wheel.
Yeah, this could be a fascinating watch here. Surgilogs back behind the wheel for the first time in many a year. Taking on Magic, who is always up for a race, no matter what the conditions, but he does have to be wary of that rear right tyre. That doesn't look too healthy to me, and that's why he's losing time, sliding all over. And now Yari has more work to do against Moss Macari. You can just see he has to use every ounce of the runoff area, the artificial turf, and he blocks Moss Macari with vengeance there.
Yeah, it looked like Moss Macari was all out of control actually into that braking zone. Almost made contact with the back of him. But let's switch forward, and TJ has already made it through on Majesta before we even get the camera on him. That's a great move.
Yeah, thumbs up from the judges here. And TJ, if he's been careful with his tyres, he can see the podium just in the horizon there. And it's not possible for him to actually make it, but it will need consistent laps in the next 3 or 4 because he will have this clear air to benefit from. So he can't be pushing too hard and he can't ease off either.
While we've got a little bit of time, I'd like to show you one of the more unique features of this mod, and that is that you can change the interior colour.
Ah, very good.
So all of you race green fans out there, Rony has been able to style the interior of his car, and some of the interiors that the drivers have picked are very, very nice. We've got some purples out there, some reds. But let's have a look at some racing action, shall we, rather than upholstery. Michael Malik has made it through on Asker, up to P5 now.
Yeah, Arska really does have a decision to make. Can he keep this car on the straight and narrow for the remainder of the race? Or does he just have to throw in the towel and say, I'll pit for tyres and try and fight back from there? Because it really is on a horrible cliff edge here. If he doesn't calm it down with the temperatures, he will be in real trouble. In contrast there, Rony's tyres are in sublime condition. So Rony has been keeping it nice and steady.
Yeah, you'd think that the impending fight with Asker is not really going to be much of a fight, as Asker there goes straight on, as if to just give me instant gratification on my point that I was making. Rony's through, as Surgilogs and Unite are now together.
Can Unite slow down in time? Yeah, a little bit of shoe on the other foot gameplay there by Unite to block Surgilogs into the first hairpin there. And the battle for P10, if Lorenzo can be caught in time, will certainly be a fascinating watch.
Yeah, with Oscar dropping out of the top three, replaced by Falcon, it's now Thamuli who does find himself closing up to the back of Falcon. And yeah, that's one certainly to watch, as it does look like the top three are, well, the top two are in a league of their own, but the third place finish here is still very much undecided, as Motomakari and Yari have come together. Yari facing the wrong way out of Gracelands.
How unusual that is to collide around there. It is a very tricky corner to go side by side into, but usually it's really clear what driver should be able to take which line. So the fact that there was a collision really is a surprise to me, and more changes as Suzy Logs is having a revenge tour against Unite. He wants to regain that position, and he is ready to pick his line, as Lorenzo, by comparison, has lost a lot of time. Lorenzo is in reach as Unite. Oh, that was extreme in terms of the braking there, and thankfully there was no contact, but Unite looks to be wayward.
Yeah, Unite might have been thrown off a little bit by that. Has to defend the inside. Surgilogs is really giving them a nice fight. This is great action from a returning customer, should we say. Around the outside at Chapman, surely not. That's a great move. Unite will have red cheeks if Surgilogs holds on to this.
Ooh.
Unite still holding on around the outside of Piff and does manage to spare his blushes for a moment, but no. Surgilogs, what a move.
Yeah, we're going to have to direct our attention to Cried versus LG Meese for a moment here. They're very well placed to have a fight. Hermani has a look at Redbot as well, but I think his entry there into Chapman wasn't ideal. Yeah, not ideal. So two battles, or two duos having a scrap, however you want to word it. And now Cried has a super run here if he can play his cards correctly. LG Meese is going to be too high up the corner, in my opinion. He won't get prime acceleration with his placement there. And on the high side goes Cried. Is it going to pay? Yeah, it looks good to me here, Pete. Very nice indeed.
Yeah, it's a great move around the outside. Meese didn't really have much to say about that at all, and Cried up to P17 then in this race. And good battles up and down, I have to say, from everybody. The drivers really are putting on a show tonight, and there's always action on this track. TJ then has caught all the way up to Asker after that qualifying session, where I'm sure TJ would have liked to have qualified higher up, so he didn't have to do all this battling. But he's already up to P8, and it's looking like it could be P7 pretty quickly as Asker continues to fade.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable situation there. Oh, he saved it again, but TJ was absolutely predicting that. He was in the precise spot on the circuit he needed to be. He can gently get back on the power and work his way ahead. But Steve Martin has Magic in view here. The soft top is down for Magic, where Steve Martin, he knows the climate around here. He's keeping it well up.
Well, this is feeling like Retro Cup. All the drivers are waiting their turn to make moves on camera to give us plenty of stuff to talk about. Steve Martin here on the outside, keeping up traditions, should we say, trying to find a way through on Magic. Oh, super close there. Magic leaving absolutely no room, just enough room for Steve Martin, who rides the sausage curbs and needs to find something on the oval. It's a good exit.
Yeah, that looks more planted to me, Magic. He will fail to use the apron at all. He won't have a space for it, so he's going to stay in the middle. Stephen Martin will go through. And what will Magic's reaction be to this? He picks the inside line, slowing 100 Ks, now to 70. Martin has to stay high, but he does reach the outside of the corner, and he's able to power on into 13th.
Yeah, it took a few corners, but Steve might be able to drive away a little bit now as we switch to Redbot, who's closing up to the back of LG Meese here. The dark red versus the light red, and Redbot a little bit deeper into the corner. And behind him, that is Hermani getting involved in a three-way for P18 now.
Yeah, we're absolutely spoiled for choice about who to pick here. Redbot versus Hermione was a situation a bit earlier on, but Cried has pulled well clear of these guys, so it's Redbot's opportunity for a move. And here is Surzulogs wanting to finish in the top 10 on his first competitive outing here in RTFR since he started this fresh account. And Unite is watching and waiting to see what happens. He won't get much of a slipstream from here, but if he can take the oval correctly, then yeah, he will get a good approach, whatever happens next.
Yeah, it's good to watch. Unite surely would like to be in this battle, and it might be the case if these two cross up. But Lorenzo in the Martini livery there ahead of Surgilogs, doing a bit of defence work into turn one. And let's see who comes out of this on top. Surgilogs has muscled his way past Unite, which is no mean feat, and now finds himself boxed in. Who is going to bite first? Is Unite going to bite, or is Surgilogs?
Lorenzo may have made the mistake, and
goodness, forcing
contact.
The issue. To push to pass.
That'll be a bit of cheeky play there. Lorenzo won't tolerate that for a moment, and Unite. He would have felt that was a prime opportunity to pass, but Lorenzo, he won't be too charitable about that. He'll feel that was a clear nudge to force him off traction there. So that will be, yeah.
Well, Surgilogs is clearly a touring car driver. That's touring car strategy all over that. Push a little bit, get the car ahead a little bit unsettled, and then just nab the position. Why not?
Yeah, would have been a good try. And Tamuli, he's been kind of stuck in this situation for quite some time now. Podium just to minimise the damage against Gabor today would be a job well done. Michael Malik won't be thinking about that because he is a championship contender himself. So if he can force a way through here, that will be truly fantastic. Oh, a little bit of grass there on the tyre. And he moves on.
Yeah, let's reset the order, shall we? 7 seconds is the gap that Sufor has managed to open up over Gabba, which is words that are seldom said. It has to be said in RTFR. Sufor doing a smashing job as they head down the school straight to end lap 17 of 22. But then it's all eyes on P3. Thamuli still right there with Falcon with a queue of cars making their way up to the back of this P3 battle. It's Michael Malik in the blue car there with Rony Krompush trying to get involved as well. So four-way fight for P3 at the moment.
Yeah, just checking Rony's tyres. He's been absolutely fantastic on the tyre wear. Michael Malik too, very, very good. Tamuli also A+ there. And just a little bit of rear right problems for Falcon, but in all honesty, it should be manageable. He's been driving so well today, and that will mean we have a very engaging fight for the podium in the end.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to keep an eye on that in great anticipation for the final couple of laps. But Surgilogs has checked out from these two, and it remains that Unite and Lorenzo are pretty close together. Actually, Lorenzo dropped a little bit there by Unite, though Surgilogs is setting personal bests on the server. That's the fourth PB that he's set in about as many laps, I think. So he really is turning it up a notch.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, really, really impressive work here. It leaves Unite with a dilemma. How will he catch back up? But for the lead, Sufor 7 seconds clear of Gabor, who, if he was having a pleasurable time in his mind, he would be ready to pull out all the stops to win the race. But I think he's just treating it as a bit of a chore to get out of the way en route to the title. So yeah, Gabor just doing his best just to get to the end, I think.
Let's watch another battle, shall we? Cried in the white machine, trying to get past Yari Katilla in the yellow. And just up ahead of them is Magic. Let's see if Cried can get it done. There was overlap earlier on in the lap at Dean. But as we head up through these left-handers into Gracelands, let's see. No, he's not quite close enough to do anything here. Can he get it done into Tarzan, Owen?
I venture no, because Magic will follow one route and Yari will have to go the other way, so it's going to be so difficult to dive bomb. Case in point, Yari was the one who wanted the inside line, but Cried on the exit, though. That is impressive. Gives him a faint chance here. But he has to stick to this line. He can't just switch to the inside anymore. He's going to make contact otherwise. But yeah, the sausage curves will refuse to bow here. And Magic on corner exit. That's almost a worry, but he's gotten away with it.
Yeah, out onto the oval we go. We really are running out of laps here. So these drivers need to get their moves done if they want them to stick before the checkered flag drops. But it is Sufor leading by 8 seconds now at this pace. At this rate, we've got Thamuli making a look on Falcon. That's for P3 at Tarzan.
Oh, Falcon uses as much of the track as he can without making any massive contact. He's missed the apex for the first portion of the chicane. We'll keep an eye on that in a moment here as Cried will try again to break through against the yellow car of Jari Katila. Magic is blocking the way, so it's so close there. But we return now for the third place battle as Cried goes down the inside of Jari.
Yeah, picking between 2 battles, but let's have a look at this. We'll return to Cried in a moment as the Muli is braked in way too late, and Falcon will have to take that straight back out of the Dean hairpin. Good effort, but way too late on the brakes.
He still has 2 more chances, though, to try it on the hairpin. And Falcon's wide at Chapman, but Piff will be a bit more generous to him. Thamuli has to understeer just to make the corner and keep his momentum. But there we have it. Falcon, a very impressive effort, very, very courageous. But Thamuli's patience has been rewarded, but he has to stay focused as we return to Cried's work. He's past Jari. Yari's struggling a little bit for grip there. Magic also drifting, and the inside line is wide open.
Yeah, Cried might make it 2 here. We didn't see the first one with Jari, but we might see it here on camera to take the lead in this group for P15, and we do. That's a great move. Can Jari seal the deal and make the move? No, not quite, into Yentwood. And Michael Malik looks racy here. He's hit the sausage curb, Owen, coming out of the final corner. That's hampered his pace quite a lot there. Rony is not really close enough to capitalise, but Michael would have been in slipstream range, definitely. So watch him on this lap. Let's see if he can get P4.
Yeah, through the first hairpin now. Braking. Yeah, it slows down perfectly. Third gear, 70 kilometers an hour, and pushing on. But no doubt about it, he has to just follow Falcon here now. He doesn't want to burn up the tires too soon. Rony will be hoping his teammate can bail him out here. But yeah, it looks like single file for the time being. Tarzan is definitely a chance for Michael to distract Falcon a little bit and make it a grandstand finish on the last lap. It's too much oversteer, but the block will slow Michael down at Gracelands.
Yeah, Michael needs a really good final lap here, and Falcon looks like he's on the edge. Michael's going for a dive. That's remarkable from that far back. Didn't look like the move was on at all, but he's made it work. Falcon was quite far left there. They're still side by side as we run up towards the Brook chicane, and it's Michael Malik in to P4.
Expertly done, but Rony is here as the final lap begins for our race leader. And now they'll cross the line themselves. Michael, not such a good exit, but Falcon's even more haphazard. And Rony could exploit the situation for his own benefit. We'll keep an eye out here just to see what he chooses to do. TJ's about 2.5 seconds further back. 1 minute 30s for the most part there. Just TJ gaining about half a second back. And Rony decides now is not the right time to fight. I'll wait for my chance at Dean Hairpin.
Well, I don't know. He's going for it. Falcon on the inside, and Rony is through. Amazing stuff for Rony there. He's up to P5 now, through on his teammate, and his teammate is so solid usually, but it's just come a little bit undone towards the end of the race. Well, the story at the front, Sufor has almost 9 seconds of a lead over Gabba in this one as he makes his way up to the Brook chicane. And I have to say, for Thamuli, this is sort of a dream scenario that he's managed to work his way back through the traffic, Eoin, because it's damage limitation really for him.
Yeah, he'll need to gain points back to keep the championship alive. But Sufor, he has lots of space and time to have a bit of a flourish himself here. He'll go across the specially designed finish line in 32 minutes, 55 seconds. Absolutely phenomenal work by Sufor. And Gabor just crossed the line himself. He'll just want to move on from this one. I don't think he enjoyed the combo very much. And Thamuli will be delighted with a P3 finish. It means that this title race has more legs in it, but it's all down to the penultimate round in a fortnight's time to see if Gabor can make it too far to reach. But well done to the podium setters.
Yeah, for sure. As we get the rest of the finishers across the line, Thamuli there, 18 seconds back in the end, so 10-second gap to Gabba. That's quite a deficit, but Gabba will extend his championship lead in Season 2 ahead of Thamuli, with Michael Malik finishing in P4, Rony 5th, Falcon 6th, TJ 7th, Mad Jester, Sergelogs, a great return there in P9, and Asker in P10. Let's let the rest of the cars finish as Sufor today makes his way up to the victory lane, driving the wrong way down the pit lane, much to the amusement of everyone else. But there we go, up onto victory lane he will go to, and that's a well-deserved win. Finishing 8 seconds ahead of Gabba in any combination is impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Gabor, when he's in his best frame of mind, he will never let that happen very often. So yeah, definitely lap up the victory Sufor because it was richly deserved. Started on the front row, and once he got that lead, he never ever gave it up. So yeah, quality drive here from Sufor, and yeah, he's well deserved of it. Let's see if that form can continue for the final month of the campaign.
Just waiting for Redbot to come across the line. We believe he may have run out of fuel. There he goes, over start finish, to complete the running order 21 finishers. Let's head to those results. So yes, Sufor, an astonishing performance there in the end to take victory ahead of Gabba, with Thamuli rounding out the top 3. As I mentioned before, Gabba will extend his championship lead. Thamuli will gain a little bit of a buffer over P3, but it's Michael Malik who takes P4 tonight, best of the rest, with Rony, Falcon, TJ, Majesta, Sergelogs and Asker, your top 10. Just outside the top 10, unite on this occasion with Lorenzo, Stephen Martin, Motta Macari, Cried, Yari Katilla, Magic, Redbot, Hermani, and LG Meese, your top 20. Over on page 2, we'll have a couple more names with Cubs, your final finisher in 21st, with Ayub DNFing, Rayman DNFing, Twincam DNFing after a spin, and Lote with those technical issues on the second lap, DNFing, but leaving us with 25 competitors in round number 8, and the fastest lap goes to MRC Sufor. Of course it does, a 1:28.87, amazing pace from him to overthrow the rest of this highly competitive grid in round 8 of the championship, Eoin.
Yeah, without a doubt, the fact that he could fight with Gabor on pure pace and then just clear him without a shadow of a doubt really is something to behold. We were gifted, of course, the battle for third place was significant there. 4 drivers could have gotten it. TJ and Unite made huge gains from the very back of the pack, and we had Suzu Logs, Lorenzo, Steve Martin, Motta Macari, and Cried, for example, all making good overtakes. And then, of course, the battle at the back, Redbot, Hermani, and LG Meese was also very entertaining. So that was a fabulous hour broadcast, in my opinion. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody.
I echo those sentiments. 32 minutes 55 seconds of racing is concluded. It was pretty action-packed. There was action everywhere you looked for the entire time, so it flew by, and we should expect exactly the same again as we head to round 9 of the championship this year, over at Fern Bay Gold, an absolute classic, one of my favourite combinations at Fern Bay. And we're going to be driving that one with another mod. It's going to be the Ferrer JGT, one of the Ferraris in the JGT class, but it's a Ferrari-looking car. It's called the Ferrer, so I assume it's based on a Ferrari. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that's going to be epic for 24 laps around Fernbay Gold in 2 weeks' time before the season finale, which will take place on December 9th. And we hope that everybody can join us for that. If you can't wait that long, don't worry. We have a couple more races coming your way, including Race Green Events Retro Cup, which will be in 2 Mondays' time on November 24th. So a bit of a gap from us for a week and a bit, but hopefully we will see you in just under 2 weeks' time for Berlin at the Race Green Events Retro Cup Round 6. Owen, that's just about all we've got time for tonight, so we will say goodbye to the ladies and gents, but any parting words on what has been a pretty fun night of racing?
The mod, I know the fact that the tyres meant it was more difficult. Road Supers will not offer you a lot of flexibility, but I really was impressed by the quality of the mod, and I'm very, very impressed by the effort the mod maker went into. The extra details you can put into your paint, for example, with the interior, and your ability to choose from a hard top or the convertible soft top that you can turn on and off as you so choose. It's definitely one of the most attentive mods you've ever seen here, as you can do so much with your preferred configuration.
Yeah, it's a great mod. Another excellent piece of kit provided to us by the community, of course, the community mods that you can create in Live for Speed S3, and there it is by M7MD1467 in collaboration with Martin 18, the Pochete 781 Baxter S, which provided plenty of great racing tonight. So give it a go if you've got S3, and if you don't have S3, go and grab a license at lfs.net. Why not? Try it out. But yeah, that's all from us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for the Retro Cup. Stay safe, be well, and we'll see you when we see you. Have a good one from us here at Sim Broadcast. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.